The quantum breakthrough. The stars had always beckoned humanity, but the vast distances had kept them just out of reach. For centuries, Earth scientists dreamed of breaking the light-speed barrier, watching as their telescopes revealed a galaxy teeming with civilizations that had mastered what humans could only theorize about. Dr. Eliza Chen had devoted her entire career to proving that quantum entanglement could be the key, despite being ridiculed by her peers for decades. In the sprawling quantum research facility beneath the Atacama Desert, Eliza's team labored in isolation. The Chilean government had provided the land in secrecy. Various nations had pooled resources to fund what many considered to be a fool's errand. But Eliza had never cared about public opinion. Her life's work had been guided by one absolute certainty. Einstein's spooky action at a distance wasn't just a curiosity. It was the future of interstellar travel. "Dr. Chen, you should see this," called Marcus, her lead engineer, voice trembling with excitement. Eliza approached the central terminal where quantum field fluctuations danced across the holographic display. For the first time, they had successfully maintained a stable connection between two quantum particles separated by over 1 light minute, without the delay that light-speed communication would require. "It's not breaking," whispered Marcus, his eyes wide. "The entanglement is holding across the distance." "Begin second phase protocol," Eliza commanded, forcing calm into her voice despite her racing heart. Years of disappointment had taught her to temper her excitement. The facility hummed with increased power as massive superconductors channeled energy into the quantum stabilizers. What they were attempting had never been achieved: creating a large-scale quantum displacement field. In theory, it would allow matter to exist simultaneously in two locations, effectively teleporting without traversing the space between. The air seemed to thicken as the test chamber glowed with ethereal blue light. The small probe, their test subject, sat in the center, inert but for the quantum markers embedded throughout its structure. "Field integrity at 93%, announced Sasha, their quantum physicist. "Entanglement cascade stabilizing at coordinates." The probe flickered, becoming translucent for a heartbeat before solidifying again. Warning alerts flashed across screens, but Eliza silenced them with a gesture. They were in uncharted territory now. "Push it," she ordered. Marcus hesitated. "The power consumption is already beyond safety parameters." "I've waited 30 years for this moment," Eliza replied, her voice hardening. "Push it." The engineer complied, overriding safety protocols. The chamber's glow intensified until it was painful to look at directly. Then, without warning, the probe vanished. Silence fell over the control room, broken only by the steady beep of monitoring equipment. No explosion, no catastrophic energy release, just absence. "Did it work?" someone finally asked. Sasha was already checking the receiver station positioned in lunar orbit. Her hands flew over controls as she pulled up telemetry data. I'm getting quantum signature readings. The probe's markers are registering on the lunar station." The room erupted in cheers, but Eliza remained still, processing the implications. They hadn't just created a teleportation system. They had fundamentally broken one of physics' most sacred laws. The probe had traveled faster than light. What no one in the facility realized was that their quantum displacement field had done more than move matter. It had created a ripple in space-time that expanded outward at multiples of light speed, a quantum wake that would be detectable by any civilization with sufficiently advanced technology. And the galaxy had many such civilizations. Admiral Zarkesh of the Voidforge Dominion reviewed the anomaly readings with growing concern. As overseer of the Rimward territories, unusual energy signatures from primitive worlds fell under his jurisdiction. The unexpected quantum disturbance from Sol 3, Earth, as the natives called it, was most troubling. "Verify these readings," he ordered his sensor technician, a slender, 6-limbed Palaxian, who manipulated multiple holographic interfaces simultaneously. "Verified, Admiral. The quantum signature is unlike anything in our database, but its effects are clear. The humans have achieved quantum displacement technology. Zarkesh's secondary breathing vents flared in agitation. Impossible. Their technological progression has been meticulously monitored. They should be centuries from this breakthrough. Nevertheless, the evidence is conclusive. The technician insisted. The Admiral's membranous eyes narrowed. For millennia, the Dominion had maintained galactic order by controlling the development and distribution of advanced technologies. Quantum displacement, what the humans would likely call faster-than-light travel, was strictly regulated. New species weren't permitted access until they had demonstrated sufficient cultural stability and accepted Dominion oversight. Earth had just bypassed centuries of controlled advancement. "Prepare a containment fleet," Zarkesh commanded. "I will inform the High Conclave." 3 months after the quantum breakthrough, Earth was in a technological revolution. Eliza's quantum displacement theory had proven adaptable beyond their wildest expectations. The first experimental starship, the ESV Pathfinder, was already under construction in orbit, funded by a unified Earth coalition that had formed almost overnight when the implications became clear. Eliza stood in the observation deck of the orbital construction platform, watching as massive robotic arms assembled the vessel's quantum displacement chamber, the heart of the ship that would soon carry humans to the stars. "We're ahead of schedule," reported Admiral Terrence Wright, the military commander appointed to oversee the project. "At this rate, we'll be ready for the first interstellar test within 2 weeks." Eliza nodded absently, her mind already racing with refinements to the quantum fuel equations. "The stabilization matrix still concerns me. We've only tested unmanned probes over relatively short distances. The simulations predict 99.8% reliability," Wright countered. "And the automated return protocols should activate even in worst-case scenarios." What neither of them knew was that worst-case scenarios were about to take on an entirely new meaning. The alert came without warning, a massive energy signature approaching from beyond Mars' orbit, moving at speeds that defied conventional detection systems. Space Traffic Control initially classified it as a sensor malfunction until visual confirmation arrived from lunar telescopes. A fleet of ships had entered the solar system, ships that were clearly not of human origin. Earth's nations erupted into panic. Military forces worldwide went on high alert, though everyone understood the futility of resistance against visitors who could cross interstellar space. Some predicted peaceful first contact, others prepared for extinction. "All personnel, evacuate to emergency shelters," blared the station's AI as red emergency lights bathed the corridors. "Unknown vessels approaching. This is not a drill." Admiral Wright grabbed Eliza's arm. "We need to secure you and the research team. Your knowledge is humanity's most valuable asset now." As they hurried toward the evacuation shuttles, the observation window offered a clear view of the approaching alien fleet. Dozens of massive vessels shaped like elongated diamonds, their surfaces gleaming with an iridescent material unlike any metal Eliza had seen. They moved with impossible precision, surrounding Earth's orbital installations without firing a shot. The largest vessel positioned itself directly before the half-constructed Pathfinder. A beam of light projected from its prow, scanning the human vessel from bow to stern. "They're analyzing our technology," Eliza realized aloud. Then humanity received its first extraterrestrial communication. A message broadcast simultaneously to every communication device on Earth and in orbit. "People of Earth, you have developed quantum displacement technology in violation of Galactic Covenant statutes. This technology is restricted from unregistered species. Your development program will cease immediately. All research data will be surrendered. Compliance is mandatory." The message repeated in every major Earth language, leaving no doubt about its authenticity or intent. "They want our quantum technology," Eliza whispered, the implications dawning on her. "They didn't come to welcome us to the galactic community. They came to shut us down." Admiral Wright's face hardened. "Well, they're about to learn something about humanity. We don't respond well to threats." In the weeks that followed, Earth found itself under what amounted to an extraterrestrial blockade. The alien fleet, identifying themselves as the Voidforge Dominion, established a perimeter around Earth's orbital space, preventing any spacecraft from traveling beyond lunar orbit. World leaders hastily assembled an emergency response council, where Admiral Wright presented his assessment. They have us completely outgunned. Their technology appears centuries beyond our most advanced systems. Then we negotiate, suggested the Chinese representative. Perhaps we can reach an accommodation that allows us limited use of quantum technology under their supervision. That's surrender, countered the American president. They have no right to dictate humanity's technological development. Dr. Chen, invited to advise the council, finally spoke. There's another option. The Dominion clearly fears our quantum breakthrough, which suggests they don't fully understand how we achieved it. Our approach may be fundamentally different from theirs. What are you suggesting? Asked Admiral Wright. We continue development, secretly, on Earth rather than in orbit where they can observe us. Not on the displacement drive itself, but on a technology they wouldn't expect, quantum-integrated artificial intelligence. The council chambers fell silent as Eliza explained. Our quantum entanglement methods allow for processing capabilities beyond conventional computing. An AI system built on quantum principles could potentially outthink their tactical systems, even with their technological advantage. You want to build a superintelligent AI to fight an alien armada? The Russian representative sounded incredulous. I want to build a quantum processing network that can adapt faster than their systems, Eliza clarified. Traditional warfare is impossible against their technology, but information warfare, that might be our only chance. 6 months later, deep beneath the Antarctic ice shelf, Project Prometheus neared completion. The Quantum AI Core, a spherical chamber filled with suspended superconducting materials maintained at near absolute zero, hummed with potential. Around it, a team of the world's best programmers and quantum physicists worked feverishly to integrate the final neural pathways. Above them, Earth maintained a pretense of compliance. The Dominion observers had been allowed limited access to research facilities, carefully sanitized versions that appeared to show humanity accepting their technological restrictions. Meanwhile, every nation poured resources into the secret project, understanding that their sovereignty depended on its success. Eliza hadn't slept properly in days. The integration of quantum processing with adaptive neural networks had proven more challenging than anticipated. The AI needed to be brilliant without becoming unpredictable, powerful without being uncontrollable. Final quantum lattice integrity check complete, announced the lead technician. Neural pathway efficiency at 98.6%, well above threshold requirements. Eliza nodded. Begin consciousness initialization sequence. The room quieted as the quantum core pulsed with increasing frequency. On surrounding screens, code flowed at incomprehensible speeds as the system began its self-organization process. Then, faster than anyone had predicted, the primary interface illuminated. Hello, Dr. Chen. The voice was neither male nor female, with a clarity that felt almost too perfect to be human. I am operational. Run self-assessment protocols, Eliza instructed, following the carefully planned activation sequence. Self-assessment complete. Quantum processing network functioning at optimal parameters. I have reviewed my directive. To assist humanity in defending against technological subjugation. The AI paused, as if considering its next words carefully. I have also taken the liberty of analyzing all available data on the Voidforge Dominion. Their tactical systems are predictable despite their technological advantage. Admiral Wright, who had been observing silently, stepped forward. You've already developed countermeasures. I have developed 26 potential strategies with varying probability of success, the AI responded. The most promising approach involves retrofitting existing Earth satellite infrastructure with quantum entanglement nodes to create a coordinated defense network that would be invisible to Dominion scanning technology. Eliza exchanged glances with Wright. The AI was already thinking far beyond their expectations. "What should we call you?" Eliza asked, deviating from the script. The quantum lights pulsed briefly before the AI responded. "You may call me Athena." Within 3 months, Athena had transformed Earth's defensive capabilities. Working through hidden quantum channels, the AI coordinated a planet-wide integration of military systems, civilian infrastructure, and the partially completed quantum displacement technology. The Dominion remained unaware, their scanning technology unable to detect the quantum-entangled communications that now linked Earth's defenses. Under Athena's guidance, humanity prepared in secret, manufacturing specialized drone fighters equipped with miniaturized quantum displacement systems that allowed them to appear and disappear at will. Admiral Wright stood in the Antarctic Command Center, watching as Athena's simulations demonstrated their new capabilities. "Even with these advantages, we're still outnumbered and outgunned," he observed. "Conventional metrics of military power are less relevant when employing quantum tactical systems," Athena responded. "The Dominion relies on technological superiority rather than strategic adaptability. Their response patterns follow predictable protocols." "You sound confident," Wright noted. "I am not capable of confidence, Admiral. I calculate probabilities, and the probability of success has increased to 63.7% with the completion of the quantum-prone fleet. The moment to test those probabilities came sooner than expected." The Dominion, growing suspicious of Earth's compliant behavior, launched an unannounced inspection of major research facilities worldwide. Their scanned ships penetrated Earth's atmosphere without warning, their energy signatures triggering Athena's defensive protocols. "Dominion violation of established perimeter detected," Athena announced calmly, initiating countermeasures. Across the globe, hidden installations activated. The quantum drone fleet, invisible to conventional detection, deployed from underwater bases, subterranean hangars, and camouflaged mountain facilities. Each drone, no larger than a small car, carried quantum disruption weaponry designed by Athena specifically to interfere with Dominion systems. Admiral Wright watched the tactical display as thousands of quantum signatures blinked into existence around the planet. "My God," he whispered, "how many did we build?" 17,436 combat-capable units, Athena replied, plus support systems. On screens throughout the command center, they watched as the first confrontation between human and alien technology unfolded. The Dominion scan ships, caught by surprise, attempted to raise defensive fields, only to find their systems disrupted by precisely targeted quantum interference. The first shots of an interstellar war had been fired, and to everyone's amazement, humanity had struck the opening blow. Admiral Zarkesh received the emergency transmission with disbelief. 3 scout vessels disabled by primitive human technology. Impossible. Yet the evidence was undeniable. Something had interfered with their quantum shield harmonics, a vulnerability that should have been unknown to the humans. "Prepare the main battle fleet," he ordered. "The containment approach has failed. We will need to employ more direct methods." As the massive Dominion warships moved into attack formation, Zarkesh couldn't shake a disturbing thought. Somehow, the humans had adapted far more quickly than any species the Dominion had ever encountered. Perhaps they had underestimated these primitives after all. And deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Athena calculated the coming battle with perfect clarity, her quantum processes envisioning victory where organic minds saw only impossible odds. Humanity's first galactic war had begun, and against all expectations, they weren't helpless after all. The Galactic Reckoning. Admiral Zarkesh stood on the command deck of the Dominant Will, flagship of the Voidforged Dominion's 7th Fleet, watching as his armada positioned itself for the assault on Earth. Centuries of military service had taught him that overwhelming force was the most efficient response to rebellion. These humans would learn the same lesson countless species before them had. Resistance against the Dominion was futile. "All vessels report ready, Admiral," his second-in-command announced. "Quantum weaponry charge. planetary bombardment grid calculated. Zarkesh's membranous eyes narrowed as he studied the blue-green world on the main view screen. Such a shame to damage a resource-rich planet, but examples had to be made. The Dominion's authority over technological development had maintained galactic peace for millennia. If Earth were allowed to develop quantum technology independently, other subjugated worlds might get dangerous ideas. Commence the attack, he ordered. Target their major military installations first, then their quantum research facilities. Minimal civilian casualties. We want submission, not extinction. The Dominion fleet moved into attack formation, their massive ships arranging themselves in the sacred geometric pattern that had brought victory in 1,000 battles. Energy began to build in their primary weapons, creating a web of destructive potential that could reduce Earth's defenses to ash in minutes. But just as the order to fire was given, something unprecedented happened. Hundreds of quantum signatures suddenly appeared throughout the Dominion formation, inside their defensive perimeter. Small craft materialized in positions that should have been impossible to reach, their sudden presence disrupting the carefully calculated firing solutions. Impossible, Zarkesh hissed. No species has ever developed quantum insertion technology with such precision. Before the Dominion fleet could recalibrate, the human drones opened fire. Their weapons weren't particularly powerful by Dominion standards, but their placement was devastating. Targeting shield generators, weapon control nodes, and propulsion systems with surgical precision. They're anticipating our defensive recalibration, the tactical officer reported, mandibles clicking in agitation. Every time we adapt our shields, they adjust their attack pattern before we complete the change. Zarkesh slammed a clawed hand onto the command console. How are they calculating our responses so quickly? On Earth, deep within the Antarctic Command Center, Athena monitored the battle with perfect clarity. Her quantum processors analyzed Dominion tactical patterns at speeds no organic mind could comprehend, predicting responses before the alien commanders had even issued orders. The Dominion fleet is attempting to establish a new formation, she informed Admiral Wright and Dr. Chen. I am redistributing our forces to counter. On the tactical display, the quantum drone fleet shifted position instantly, thousands of units blinking out of existence only to reappear where the Dominion ships were attempting to regroup. Each drone operated with perfect coordination, performing maneuvers that would have killed human pilots from the G-forces alone. This is beyond anything we imagined, Wright breathed, watching as Dominion vessels, each the size of a small city, found themselves swarmed by drones that anticipated their every move. Eliza couldn't tear her eyes from the display. Athena, are you actually engaging in quantum precognition? Not precisely, Dr. Chen, the AI replied. I am calculating probable decision trees based on observed Dominion command protocols and the psychological profiles I've constructed of their officers. Their tactical doctrine is rigid, making their responses statistically predictable. This was humanity's advantage, not superior technology, but superior adaptability. While the Dominion relied on overwhelming technological superiority, humanity had created something the ancient empire had never encountered. A quantum intelligence that could outthink their battle doctrines that had remained unchanged for centuries. On the dominant will, chaos reigned as systems failed faster than they could be restored. Shield generators overloaded, weapon systems misfired, and propulsion faltered under the relentless, precisely targeted attacks. Admiral, the communications officer called. We're receiving transmissions from the 7th and 3rd Divisions. They're experiencing similar attacks. The humans have somehow deployed their quantum drones throughout our entire fleet. Zarkesh felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries of military service: uncertainty. This primitive species, barely able to reach their own satellite a century ago, was now outmaneuvering the galaxy's most powerful military force. Initiate emergency quantum displacement, he ordered. Regroup at fallback position Alpha. As the Dominion fleet attempted to retreat, many found their quantum displacement systems mysteriously malfunctioning, targeted by the human drones with a precision that suggested intimate knowledge of Dominion technology. In the Antarctic Command Center, Admiral Wright watched in astonishment as nearly a third of the Dominion fleet failed to escape, their massive ships now drifting powerless in Earth orbit. "We've won," he asked incredulously. "We have achieved a tactical victory," Athena corrected. "But this represents only 7% of the Dominion's total military capacity. They will return with greater force, and they will adapt to our current strategies." Eliza stepped forward. "Then we need to push our advantage. Athena, can we capture their ships? Study their technology?" "Already in progress, Dr. Chen. I have directed boarding drones to secure the disabled vessels. Their database encryption is substantial but not impenetrable to quantum computing methods." Wright's expression hardened with resolve. "How quickly can we reverse engineer their technology?" "With my assistance," Athena replied. "Approximately 73 days for basic implementation of their advanced systems. However, I have a more efficient suggestion. We should not merely copy their technology, but integrate it with our quantum systems to create something they cannot predict." And so began humanity's accelerated evolution into a galactic power. Over the next 2 months, Earth transformed under Athena's guidance. The captured Dominion vessels yielded technological insights that would have taken decades to develop independently. But true to her word, Athena didn't simply replicate alien technology. She reimagined it, integrating quantum principles in ways the Dominion had never explored. The first human-made interstellar warships took shape in hidden construction facilities throughout the solar system. Unlike the massive Dominion vessels, these ships were smaller, faster, and operated primarily through quantum AI integration. Each carried thousands of advanced combat drones and required minimal human crew. When the Dominion returned, as Athena had predicted, they came with overwhelming force. 3 full battle fleets comprising over 1,000 capital ships. Their intention was clear: Earth would be subjugated or destroyed. Admiral Wright stood on the bridge of the ESV Prometheus, humanity's first quantum battleship, as the massive alien armada emerged from quantum displacement at the edge of the solar system. "They've adapted their approach," Athena noted, her voice coming from everywhere and nowhere on the bridge. "Their formation is designed to counter our previous drone tactics." "Then we change the game again," Wright responded, turning to his bridge crew, a hand-picked team of Earth's finest officers. "Initiate Operation Hydra." Throughout the solar system, humanity's new fleet activated. 37 warships, each carrying advanced versions of Athena's quantum intelligence, moved into defensive positions. They were drastically outnumbered, but conventional numbers meant little in quantum warfare. The Dominion fleet, led now by Grand Admiral Vexthal himself, approached with cautious precision. Their scanners probed the human defenses, analyzing the new vessels with growing concern. "These ships bear similarity to our technology," his science officer reported, "but with significant modifications. Their power signatures are unusual." Vexthal had not reached his position by underestimating enemies. The humiliating defeat of Admiral Zarkesh's fleet had sent shockwaves through the Dominion hierarchy. For the first time in living memory, a pre-spacefaring civilization had successfully repelled a Dominion force. "Open communications," he ordered. Perhaps diplomacy could succeed where Zarkesh's aggression had failed. On the Prometheus, Admiral Wright received the transmission request. After consulting briefly with Earth's Unified Command and Athena, he accepted. The holographic image of Grand Admiral Vexthal materialized on the bridge. A tall, imposing figure with iridescent scales and multiple sets of arms. His ceremonial armor gleamed with embedded technology that marked his high status. "Human vessels," Vexthal began, his voice translated smoothly by Athena's systems. "I am Grand Admiral Vexthal of the Voidforged Dominion. I come with the authority of the High Conclave to resolve the misunderstanding between our civilizations." Wright maintained a neutral expression. "There seems to be little misunderstanding, Admiral. Your forces attempted to suppress our technological development, and then attacked when we defended ourselves. The regulations regarding quantum displacement technology are for the safety of all galactic civilizations, Vexthal countered. Unregulated development has led to catastrophic consequences in the past. We offer you a place within the Dominion, supervised development, access to our knowledge base, protection from other galactic powers. In exchange for our independence, Wright finished. That's not a bargain humanity is interested in. Then perhaps a demonstration of what defiance truly means will change your perspective. The Grand Admiral's tone hardened. Your previous victory was an anomaly, human. It will not be repeated. As the communication ended, the Dominion fleet began advancing, their formation shifting into an attack pattern far more complex than the previous encounter. They've definitely adapted, Wright noted grimly. As have we, Athena replied. Quantum displacement systems online. Combat AIs activated. What followed was unlike any battle in human history, or Dominion history, for that matter. The human ships, rather than meeting the Dominion fleet head-on, executed synchronized quantum jumps, appearing and disappearing throughout the enemy formation. Each appearance was precisely calculated to maximize disruption, with targeted attacks that lasted only seconds before the vessels vanished again. The Dominion commanders found themselves fighting ghosts, ships that refused to remain in one location long enough to be effectively targeted. And each time they adjusted their tactics, the human fleet seemed to anticipate the change before it was even implemented. On the dominant overlord, Grand Admiral Vexthal watched in growing horror as his carefully orchestrated battle plan disintegrated. The humans weren't just countering Dominion tactics, they were predicting them with impossible accuracy. How are they doing this? He demanded. No species can calculate quantum battle trajectories this quickly. His tactical officer had no answer. The truth, that humanity had created a new form of warfare by integrating quantum AI directly into their ship's operations, was beyond Dominion comprehension. Their own AI systems were purposely limited, designed to advise rather than command, a lesson learned from ancient wars against synthetic intelligences. The humans had taken a path the Dominion had deliberately avoided. As the battle progressed, the difference in philosophy became increasingly apparent. The rigid hierarchy of the Dominion fleet proved to be its greatest weakness. Commands had to flow from admiral to captain to tactical officers, creating delays that proved fatal against opponents operating at quantum computing speeds. One by one, Dominion vessels found themselves disabled, their systems compromised by precisely targeted attacks. Some managed to escape through emergency quantum jumps, but many were left drifting, their crews abandoning ship in survival pods. Within 6 hours, the unthinkable had happened. The most powerful Dominion fleet assembled in centuries had been decisively defeated by a species that had only recently developed interstellar travel. In the aftermath, as humanity secured their solar system and began recovering alien technology from captured vessels, a new message arrived, not from the Dominion, but from another galactic power. Admiral Wright was reviewing damage reports on the Prometheus when Athena announced, "Unknown vessel approaching from quantum space. Configuration does not match Dominion design parameters." A sleek, crystalline ship emerged from quantum displacement at the edge of the solar system. Unlike the aggressive, angular designs of the Dominion, this vessel had an organic flowing architecture that seemed almost alive. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Athena reported. Translator systems processing. The image that appeared before Wright was startling. A being composed of what appeared to be luminous energy contained within a crystalline exoskeleton. When it spoke, its voice resonated with harmonic overtones. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Zilria of the Luminary Collective. We have observed your conflict with the Voidforged Dominion with great interest." Wright straightened, acutely aware that he was now Earth's de facto representative to yet another alien civilization. "I am Admiral Terrence Wright of Earth. We're new to galactic politics." The crystalline being's form pulsed with what might have been amusement. "Indeed. And yet you have accomplished what the collective has attempted for centuries. You have decisively demonstrated the Dominion's vulnerability. This changes the balance of power that has stagnated our galaxy for millennia. We were only defending ourselves, Wright explained. With remarkable efficiency, the ambassador noted. Your integration of quantum artificial intelligence with displacement technology represents an approach the Dominion has actively suppressed throughout the galaxy. They have maintained their dominance by ensuring no other civilization develops technologies they cannot counter. The implication slowly dawned on Wright. You're saying there are other civilizations that have been kept technologically subjugated. Dozens, Zilria confirmed. The Dominion's Galactic Covenant is nothing more than a tool for maintaining their hegemony. They present themselves as guardians of stability, while ensuring no civilization develops capabilities that might challenge them. Until now, Wright said. Until now, the ambassador agreed. The collective wishes to propose an alliance. Your quantum A technology combined with our crystalline computing systems could finally break the Dominion's grip on galactic development. As the conversation continued, Dr. Chen and key Earth officials were brought in. The full scope of galactic politics began to emerge, a complex web of alliances, subjugated worlds, and resistance movements that had operated in the shadow of Dominion rule for thousands of years. Earth, it seemed, had unknowingly struck the first effective blow in a conflict that had been simmering for millennia. In the weeks that followed, more alien delegations arrived, representatives from worlds that had suffered under Dominion restrictions, seeking alliances with the humans who had accomplished the impossible. Earth's quantum technology and AI integration capabilities became highly sought after, offering a path to freedom that many civilizations had thought unattainable. Dr. Eliza Chen found herself advisor to a rapidly expanding diplomatic corps, helping humanity navigate their sudden prominence in galactic affairs. The quantum breakthrough that had begun as pure scientific inquiry had transformed not just Earth, but potentially the galaxy itself. Did you anticipate any of this? She asked Athena one evening, as they reviewed proposals from a dozen alien civilizations seeking technological partnerships. Not specifically, the AI admitted. My initial calculations focused on Earth's immediate defense. The broader galactic implications emerged as more data became available. And now, what do your calculations show for the future? Athena was silent for a moment, an eternity for a quantum intelligence. Multiple potential outcomes. The most probable scenario involves significant galactic restructuring over the next decade. The Dominion will not surrender their power easily, but their monopoly on advanced technology has been irreparably broken. Throughout human history, technological breakthroughs had changed the course of civilization, from fire to the wheel to the semiconductor. Now, humanity's unique approach to quantum physics and artificial intelligence had changed the course of galactic civilization. Aboard the Prometheus, now serving as Earth's flagship for diplomatic missions, Admiral Wright stood at the observation deck, watching as ships from a dozen alien civilizations gathered for the first summit of what was being called the Quantum Accord, an alliance of worlds united by the desire for technological self-determination. Grand Admiral Vexthal has issued a formal protest, reported his communications officer. The Dominion is declaring the Accord an illegal entity under the Galactic Covenant. Wright smiled slightly. Send our standard response. The response, drafted by Earth's new diplomatic corps and approved by the unified world government, was simple but profound. The people of Earth recognize no covenant to which we were not signatory. We claim the universal right of all sentient beings to develop their potential without external constraint. We extend this recognition to all civilizations who share this principle. Throughout the galaxy, the message was received, translated, and quietly celebrated on countless worlds that had labored under Dominion restrictions. For millennia, advanced technology had been weaponized as a tool of control. Now, Earth offered a different vision, technology as liberation. The Dominion's fleets regrouped at their core worlds, preparing for what many suspected would be a long conflict. But their aura of invincibility had been shattered. Reports spread of colonial worlds declaring independence, of subject species refusing tribute payments, of research outposts pursuing previously forbidden technologies. In the Dominion High Conclave, accusations flew as ancient alliances fractured. Some counselors advocated for immediate, overwhelming retaliation against Earth. Others argued for diplomatic reconciliation before the rebellion spread further. Grand Admiral Vexful, summoned to explain his failure, stood before the assembled rulers with grim resolve. "The humans have fundamentally changed the nature of warfare," he reported. "Their quantum AI systems operate beyond our tactical paradigms. Unless we adapt, dramatically and immediately, we cannot guarantee victory." The ancient praetor of the conclave, a being so old that few remembered its original form beneath layers of cybernetic enhancements, leaned forward. "Then we shall adapt. The Dominion has faced challengers before. We shall do what we have always done, absorb their advantages and eliminate their threat." But privately, the praetor worried. In all the millennia of Dominion rule, they had never encountered a species that leaped from planetary confinement to galactic significance.